What's going on, guys? Briar Rabbit here. Yesterday, Bungie revealed a new vid doc outlining some of the changes and new features and new weapons that are coming with the Black Armory. Is it a DLC? Is it an expansion? Is it an annual season pass content release? I don't know. I don't even know how I feel about the annual season pass yet. We'll have to wait and see maybe once the year is over, at least after Black Armory is released, how we feel about this season pass. But that's beside the point. Today, what we're going to talk about are the new exotics that Bungie detailed in this vid doc. They look pretty exciting. They look pretty unique. There's 4 brand new exotic weapons as well as 1 returning favorite, and we're going to go over them right now. This is Izanagis Burden, and its main perk, or its exotic perk, is Honed Edge. Holding reload consumes the magazine and loads a round with additional range and damage. That's a pretty cool feature and does allow for one-shotting Guardians to the body in PvP, which is an extremely overpowered perk. This is something that we actually saw from certain perks in Destiny 1, and the community reacted poorly to it. So I'm wondering, once this is added to the game, how the community will actually react to basically being able to one-shot, body shot Guardians in the Crucible. Now, Bungie also mentioned that this would be an extraordinarily powerful weapon in PvE, rivaling things like Sleeper Simulant or Whisper of the Worm, which I think is desperately needed, because one of the disappointing things about Destiny 2 right now for me is that all the most powerful weapons seem to be Destiny 1 weapons. I want to use new stuff, and I want it to feel powerful. I don't really want to be using Destiny 1 weapons when I feel the need to win, whether that be in PvE or Gambit or even PvP sometimes. Next up on the list of what could be some very controversial exotic weapons is Le Monarchy. I'm going to guess that's how you say that. It's French, and I don't speak French, so some help in the comments would be appreciated here. The exotic perk here is Pestilence Arrows. On a perfect draw, a hit target receives damage over time. On a perfect draw with precision hit, all enemies in the Void Cloud receive damage over time. So if you hit a perfect draw and you hit a target, they get dot. They get damage over time. If you hit a perfect draw and get a precision hit, it creates a Void Cloud, and anybody in that Void Cloud is going to get damage over time. This seems like it'd be really good for PvE. Bows in PvE have been a little bit underwhelming, so we'll see how that works out. In PvP, Bungie compared this gun directly to Thorn and its damage over time aspect. Now, it's not a hand cannon, it's a bow, so it's very different than Thorn, but Thorn was a controversial weapon, to say the least, in Destiny 1. Some people love it, some people hated it. We'll have to see how this one goes. People are going to be excited to try this one out, though. Anarchy is the new exotic grenade launcher, and this one's got a very cool intrinsic perk, Arc Traps. Grenades stick to surfaces and chain arc bolts to other mines. I gotta say, this one sounds really fun to set up traps in both PvE and PvP. Depending on how much damage those arc bolts do, it could be very useful for wardening off certain areas of the map in PvP or setting traps for PvE enemies. Maybe even making like a square of just arc damage and damaging a boss inside of it. It really depends on how powerful those arc bolts are, but it could be a lot of fun to use and really open up opportunities for strategic play in, all game modes of Destiny. The final new exotic that Bungie showed off is the Yotu. Now, this is a very unique weapon because it's a fusion rifle that looks like it kind of operates like a rocket launcher, and it's got a very unique cosmetic style, too. It almost reminds me of Mega Man's Mega Buster, where your hand is kind of slid into it more than just like holding onto a handle. It's very cool looking. Now, this thing does a bunch of interesting stuff. First of all, it fires a fiery slug at your enemy that tracks, and then once it hits, it has this huge explosion. So it kind of reminds me of a rocket launcher. They say it's a fusion rifle, so we'll have to see how this thing actually performs. Hopefully it's as powerful as it is good looking. Aside from the 4 new exotics, we're also getting a returning exotic, and this one's obviously the last word. You can see it teased in the video just after Bungie refers to it. If that's not the last word, I will eat my hat. That thing looks like the last word. You can see it on the Guardian's hip here. I hope it's the last word. I know that I have railed against returning exotics, but man, the last word was a special weapon, and I do want to see it back. If we're getting all the exotics back, I'd rather see the last word sooner rather than later. So those are the new exotic weapons that Bungie revealed. There's a ton of other stuff, though, that Bungie talked about in that vid doc, and we'll be going over it in the days to come, as well as on the DCP podcast on Thursday night, so look forward to that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.